All right, the president a short time ago saying that his final tax cut pitch will be historic and that they'll win this, and because he's also looking at the biggest tax cut ever. Is that right? Is that technically right? The biggest, by my math, seems to be the Reagan twin tax cuts, really, each one of them in '81, of course, later on in '86. This guy behind that history, the former Texas Republican Senator Phil Gramm. Senator, good to have you.
Thank you, Neil.
When you hear, for the president or anyone, that this is the biggest tax cut ever, it's not. I mean, it's substantial. I'm not minimizing it, but it doesn't hold a candle to the Reagan one, does it?
Well, in real dollars relative to the size of the economy, I think you can make a strong argument the Reagan tax cut was bigger. But I think this is an effort to do what we need today. Our problem is that we had 8 years of growth at 1.5%, whereas from the end of World War II until the beginning of the Obama era, the economy grew by 3.4%. Now, what difference does that make? Well, it means that we lost $4,500 of income for every man, woman, and child in America. Now, this tax cut will provide about 1/10 that amount of money in tax relief. We're not going to fix what's wrong with America by simply letting people keep more of what they earn. That always helps.
Yeah.
But we've got to get this economy growing. And if we can get the economy growing at 3% or more again, we can deal with a problem that working Americans have, which is they're not making enough money.
Do you think, Senator, that this tax package can help to contribute to 3% plus growth? They've built that into their assumptions.
I think it can help, and I'm pretty confident it's going to. The corporate rate has to be reduced. No company in the world wants to earn income in America or repatriate money to America because we have the highest tax rate in the world. We need a lower tax rate for small business. We need to eliminate the situation where if you make money abroad selling American goods, you get taxed twice. And we need to eliminate the death tax, which destroys small businesses when the founder dies. I think if we can deal with those 4 problems and do it within the constraints of the money we have available through the budget, that we're going to do a lot in getting the economy going. But if you're thinking that this tax cut's going to solve your problems by itself, you're probably going to be disappointed. If the tax cut can get the economy growing, you'll be able to solve your own problems. And that's what the debate is about. We've gotten kind of off subject as everybody's talked about who gets what.
No, you're right about that. But let me ask you about the real reality of politics at the time. With the first wave of the cuts in the early '80s, there were some delays in their implementation that meant that people weren't feeling anything, and the benefits weren't felt until after the '82 midterms, by which time Republicans lost a couple of dozen seats. I mean, there is talk that they're going to delay the implementation of the new corporate rate at 21%. It's not definite, but it could be a 2019 event. How do you feel about that, just its political impact?
Well, I think Republicans lost seats in the '82 election because we had a double-dip recession before the Reagan program got into effect. I think any time you can give the tax reduction earlier, it's better. The problem, of course, is paying for it.
Right.
The Reagan tax cuts worked dramatically. Revenues went up. We were collecting more money the day Reagan left than the day he came. We beat inflation. We stopped bracket creep. It was a golden age. Whether that can be replicated or not, I don't know. But I know we can beat what we've done in the last 8 years by letting people keep more of what they earn and creating incentives for people to work, save, and invest. When people make more money, they solve their own problems. And that's what this tax cut's about, wages and growth.
Phil Gramm, good seeing you again. Thank you very, very much.
Good seeing you, Neil. Thank you.